Alrighty, welcome to the Mediacurrent Contrib Half-Hour. It is our last meeting of September. So, shock horror, next week is October, and then we can start putting out the Halloween dragons. Today we're going to look at some news items, and then we can dig into new issues and whatever topics you all would like to talk about. If there is a specific issue you'd like us to discuss or take a look, please post it in the chat and we can do that. Alrighty. So, housekeeping. My name is Damien McKenna, still community lead at Mediacurrent, whose pronouns he, him. I've been involved in Drupal since 2007, do a bunch of stuff, and I hop around the issue queue looking for things to work on. My time is sponsored by Mediacurrent. We're a full-service digital agency that implements world-class open-source software development strategy and design to achieve defined goals for enterprise organizations seeking a better return on investment. And we love working with Drupal. These meetings are set up as a community project. Go to drupal.org/project/contrib_half_hour, and you can see the upcoming schedule that I need to update. And if you leave a comment on today's issue, you can get issue credit just for hanging out. We adhere to the Drupal Code of Conduct. Go to drupal.org/DCOC if you have not read it recently. Next week, we're going to have another guest speaker talking about writing unit tests that I'm looking forward to. And then after that, on the 30th, wait. Today's the 16th. Not the 26th, Damien. The 16th. So it's not the last presentation of September. And I've got a whole 2 extra weeks. Yay! Okay. So back where I was. So yes, next week, 23rd, writing unit tests. Then the week after, more some things. So news, there were security updates this week for Drupal 8, along with 2 contrib modules. I did forget to add a slide about it, but they are somewhat important updates. You really should update your Drupal 8 and 9 sites pronto. Some event news, DrupalCon Europe, coming up in a couple of weeks. No, Damien, it's not the 26th of September. DrupalCon Portland 2020 was just announced. It's going to be the first in-person event since DrupalCon Europe 2019. And they have a request for proposals open right now. So go to events.drupal.org/Portland 2020 for all the details. Let's see. Next, community events. We have the Contrib Summit happening tomorrow. Then Drupal GovCon and Drupal Camp Portland, both from October 13th to the 15th. If you really want to overdose yourself on Drupal goodness, try attending both. Then Drupal Camp NYC at the end of the month and NetCamp in November. And as always, go to drupal.org/community/events for all the latest happenings. Anybody have anything else they'd like to throw on the list or to share? Alrighty. So let's move on. A topic that I've mentioned a few times was a plan that the Drupal Association and some folks came up with to automatically commit a fix for Drupal 8 modules to make them Drupal 9 compatible, because Drupal 8 runs out of date in November, which is 6 weeks away. So there are still thousands of modules out there that are only currently compatible with Drupal 8 and do not have a Drupal 9 release available. Drupal 9 compatible release available. So one of the ideas was to commit a fix. So commit the change that the last year project fixer bot posted to an issue, to make the info file compatible and any other minor fixes. That plan got kind of stalled in the middle of discussions because there are a lot of awkward nuances to it. So what if there are multiple branches? How do you decide which branch to do it on? Do you need to make a new release, or is it just committing the change enough? Is it worthwhile creating a new branch? Who's going to do the maintenance work? What's the side benefit, etc., or what's the real benefit, etc., etc., etc. Is this the Drupal overlords taking over all of the things and leaving us peon maintainers out of the discussion? No, but so that idea kind of got put on the back burner. An alternative idea is being worked on to provide an alternative composer access repository thingamajig that would kind of override the normal info and basically make it possible to download the module with Composer into a Drupal 9 site. So you would just add this one, well, a couple of lines to your Composer file and for your project, and then any Drupal 8 module could be downloaded. You then might have to patch it and fix it and other stuff, but at least you could download it with Composer and then apply patches. Another idea came up was to mark all Drupal 8 only modules as being available for new people to take over as maintainers or co-maintainers. And the normal process with an abandoned out of date module is that you have to create a public issue, contact the maintainer, wait 2 weeks. If there's no response, then you can push your offer to the webmaster's issue queue, and then you will be given co-maintainer status because the existing maintainers never responded. It's a way of forcing adoption of a module when the existing maintainers are no longer either interested or able to continue the work. So given that we are 6 weeks from Drupal 8 being at end of life, when all of these modules would be marked as unsupported anyway, they came up with an idea that has been creating issues and sending people emails. So an issue is opened for projects that look like this. And it says project name, open to new maintainer applications on 30th of September. The idea is 2 weeks from when this was created. And the idea is that the Drupal Association is giving maintainers a 2-week notice that if they don't take any steps, that their module or theme will be listed as being available for new maintainers to take over. New maintainers wouldn't have to wait the 2 weeks. They could just submit an issue to the webmasters and then be given maintainership. Along with this issue being opened in the issue queues for the relevant modules, an email is sent out to the maintainers letting them know this is happening, basically giving a mirror of this email or mirror of this message in email to let them know more directly, just in case they miss the issue update. So it's a standard issue that was opened to a whole bunch of projects. I think it's 200 and something had these opened. And there's a standard tag, project available for adoption. And like I said, maintainers were also emailed. And the idea is that if maintainers don't close the issue by October 1st, September 30th, depending on, that the project will be changed, the project status will be changed to needs new maintainer. And then, like I said, the new maintainership process will be expedited for those modules. So anybody could come along and say, I'd like to take this over. And they would, given that there's a manual step involved, they would be given maintainership without having to wait the 2 weeks. It affects any module that has a Drupal 8 release, but does not have a release that is compatible with Drupal 9. So Drupal 7 module, or a module with only Drupal 7 releases, is not affected. A module that has a Drupal 8 and 9 support is not affected. So there's only a small subset of modules that are currently available or currently affected. There are a number of scenarios this didn't cover. For example, one module I noticed has a new branch that is compatible with Drupal 9, but there's no releases available yet. It's just a branch sitting out there that nobody knows about. So there are some minor issues with the automated process, but generally it's reasonable. And it seems to just be, it seems to be primarily for little used modules. So you're not going to have, say, Token show up with this, because Token has Drupal 9 compatible releases. But anyway, so wanted to let you know about that. So if you have a module or theme, keep forgetting theme, themes are affected. If you have a Drupal 8 module or theme and you don't have a Drupal 9 compatible release, you may see one of these emails show up in your mailbox, and you might see one of these issues in the queue. The appropriate response is to either say, that's fine, you can change the status yourself, you can let it be updated automatically in 2 weeks, or you can spend the short bit of time to do a new Drupal 9 compatible release. The choice is yours. So with that, anybody have any burning issues they would like to look at, to delve in, or topics they'd like to discuss? Feel free to unmute yourself, post something in the chat. Failing that, I'll pick an issue queue at random and work on something.
I have a question you might know.
Sure, Daniel, what's on your mind?
As you are probably aware, SwiftMailer is going to become obsolete because the SwiftMailer team are basically abandoning it and moving to Symphony Mailer. Has anyone looked at the Drupal Symphony Mailer project? Because I know there's a beta release, kind of, but like, yeah.
Oh, wow. I
Did you not
have
know?
not looked at, no, I have not paid attention to SwiftMailer. I haven't used it in yonks. I mean, it's compatible with Drupal 9, but yeah.
But yeah, SwiftMailer is basically going to become obsolete at the same time as Drupal 8. So it's kind of going to force people over to Symphony Mailer. I was just curious if you had any experience with it, because I thought you would have had, to be honest. But
No, I have not touched it. My email stuff in Drupal 8 has pretty much been limited to SMTP mail system, and I think Mime Mail, I think it was, and even then it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's good to know. So Symphony Mailer, placement mail system that could be adopted into Drupal core, especially given it's a based on a Symphony component. That would be nice in core. No GUI yet. So that's interesting. So that would be neat to see finished off. So Adam PS has been working on that recently. It's going to leave Drupal 7 sites in the lurch because Symphony Mailer is Drupal 9 only. Well, maybe Drupal 8, but certainly D9. Oh yes, requires Drupal 9.1 or newer. Makes sense. Yeah. So I would suspect, unless a security fix or bug, opens up for SwiftMailer in the next 2 months, I wouldn't expect any new releases there. But so any new site should start looking at Symphony Mailer instead. But yeah, Drupal 7 sites might be stuck with, or any Drupal 7 sites using it will be stuck with an unsupported mail system. And unsupported mail systems can be dangerous, potentially, depending on what types of emails the site is sending out. But
there are some alternatives in 7, though, I think.
Yeah, there are. So with mail system, there are a number of modules that can use it. HTML, mail, and MyMail. I think it was MyMail I used before. So interesting. I know there was an open issue for backup migrate to let you use SwiftMailer for sending out emails. I don't think I committed that change. So I'm not inclined to now, but intriguing. Do you have many sites that use it?
About 70.
Oh, not small potatoes. Are they D7 or D8 and 9?
It's a combination. We're currently all hands on decks to get everyone on D9, but yeah, the bulk is now D8, swiftly approaching D9. But
Right.
yeah, it's just another. Since we've last talked, I've actually changed positions, so I kind of keep my eye on a lot of the infrastructure things now. Hence why I picked this up, probably because I hang around in the Symphony Slacks quite a bit just to make sure I know if there's anything coming down the grapevine. And that's where I saw this actually, because they basically said on their end, everyone who works on Symphony Mailer, the like application for, are the same people who did the SwiftMail alternative for Symphony. So should be good code. You just need the module to plug into it, basically.
Right.
I'm just a little disappointed that there's no upgrade between SwiftMailer to Symphony Mailer.
Yet.
Yeah.
I mean, these 7 sites, depending on what they're doing, might be fine if it's limited use, and say only editorial content from known staff and approved staff that they're going out as emails. But if you're in a situation where anybody can post content to something like, say, a web form, some sort of contact form or something, and that goes into an email message, that's where your site might start running into, potentially run into issues. Yeah. But an interesting predicament. And like I said, especially on Drupal 7 sites. For the Symphony Mailer, you might inquire about an upgrade path. I mean, they don't have a UI yet. UI to configure transports. An upgrade path from SwiftMailer would be useful. Wouldn't have to be too complicated. Just during site ins or a module install, look for the settings and map them over. So something to discuss with them. I will definitely keep an eye on that one. It would also be nice if Drupal core could eventually have better email handling, but I know it's there's a large amount of effort dealing with all of the various problems that mail systems can have. So I can appreciate them not prioritizing that. But cool topic. Anybody else have anything?
I'm doing a presentation in half an hour on the business case for open source contribution. If anyone wants to join, I'll put a link in the chat.
Fantastic, Darren. Is it aimed at site owners? Like the management and whoever at a company that has a website?
No, it's not. It's aimed at people who might be in a position to contribute but have trouble figuring out how to do it profitably.
Okay.
That's been a topic of discussion lately, especially when we had Rockowitz trying to find a way to maintain his web form module when it was no longer needed by the company that he was working for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cognizant Soft Vision Programmers Week. Neat. Very cool. I'll see if I can join that. So that's at 2 p.m. Eastern, your presentation?
Yes,
Okay,
that's right.
awesome.
All right.
Well, yeah, I'll see if I can join that. A very, very important topic. And I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job. All right, well, it's 1:30 thereabouts. One final thing, like you saw in the screenshot, that I came across this funny little module as it was flagged as being suitable for the expedited maintainership transfer process, and it's called Little Bobby Tables, and it's a joke on the XKCD strip that was posted years ago, but it is a really dangerous twig command that lets you run SQL commands from your twig files. Isn't that wonderful? Not something you should ever install, but definitely something that is interesting as an exercise to see if you can do it and what the implications would be.
What wasn't that the basis of Drupal-Geddon, the fact that you could do that?
No, Drupal the 2014 core, no, I forget the number. SA something 2014 002 or something like that. That was, it wasn't about the templating, it was certain queries didn't have the necessary filtering, and it just took a certain type of argument that was passed in. It's been a long time since I looked at that one, but it wasn't strictly the template engine at fault. It was just a general problem with the database connection architecture.
Yeah, and as Nora pointed out, this depends on the bad judgment module. So, which is another great little module of things you don't want to do in life.
Yes. It's always that's a fun one to play with, and just it's a running joke, really. But again, it's people being bored, trying to see, okay, how can I break stuff on purpose in creative ways? And so you have lots of bad modules like Khan that just creates a finite state machine. All sorts of bad ideas, things you should never do with a website, but people wanted to see what would happen if you did. Not something you'd ever install on production on a Friday as you walk out the door. Yeah.
And go on vacation for the next week.
Yes. And leave your phone in the office.
Of course.
All
right, I gotta hop for a client. Take care.
All right. Thanks. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. We'll be back again next week, like I said, with a presentation on unit testing. Looking forward to that. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. Take care.
Thanks.